the machine, it was the connection between the machines. One important invention also, but this time it is a software, it is not really a hardware. It is Oracle Database Management System at the year 1980. So what is a database? What is very important now, we start by the time to use computer to store more and more data, and we started also to store not only numbers but any type of data. For this reason, we needed to create a standards to organize these huge quantities of data. For this reason, we can talk about database. What is a database? A database is a collection of related data which represents some aspects of the real world. So data is a representation of the world. If we have the data, for example, about a school, we can say it is a collection of data that is important, that is the heart of the information system, and this we put all these data together. At the first, we put the database in papers. So everywhere we had data, but these data in each enterprise, these data were collected and organized in papers. By the time we need to use computer, so we needed to find something in the computer to organize data. At the first, data were stored only in files, and by the time we created more sophisticated softwares in order to facilitate the treatment of this data. We create what we call now DBMS, Database Management System. It is a software that enables users to define, create, organize, store, retrieve, maintain, and control access to the database. It is important to know that when humans use the DBMS, he don't pay attention for the details, because the right of access, for example, to his data, it will be guaranteed by the DBMS. He don't need, for example, to copy his data on many layers or many media. If he well defined his DBMS, he don't need to search where he put exactly some data, because if he put it in well organized way, the DBMS will facilitate the organization and the searching for the data, etc. So, as we see, a human send data and organize the data in the machine, and machine can receive a huge quantity of data by human and can store it and can send the results of a research when a human need. By the time we invented what we needed before, the communication between the machines, so human can, using the new invention, it was the internet, the human can communicate with the machine, but machine over the earth can communicate also. So one person can communicate with another person with transparency. He don't need a complicated process to communicate with his friend. In such way, all the humanity are connected using machine. This is the internet. Everyone now benefits of this invention. So the protocol of internet developed during long period. We can say that we had a complete version of the internet at 1994, but always there is that the protocols are being developed. What is important now that machines communicate and human interact. So using internet, human can exchange text, image, voice, etc. So machine interacts and human using internet. As you see, we can use it for social relation, for education, for practical, for business, for practical softwares, navigation, GPS, etc. Regarding the development of the internet and information system, one of the most important resources of data today are sensors. What are sensors? There are some tools that measure data from the environment and they convert this data into human. So a traditional sensor reads or detects a value or a changement or an event from the environment, and it should be understood this reading by human. So when we measure the temperature, we can say that we use a type of simplified sensor. Most of sensors these days are electronic because we use digital components. And the human, when he takes this data, he can communicate with machine to treat this data. This is the traditional way before. In the other direction, an actuator is a device used to control the environment. So a sensor is a device to detect the environment, and an actuator is a device to change something in the environment, to control it, to help human to control the environment, because human can use his body, as we see in the previous parts when we talk about a human as a heart in the information system. We could see that human can change something with his hands, but most of times he uses actuators. What are they? They are tools that help human to control the environment. For example, a machine, an engine, it is an actuator. It is a simplified example. Also, what we use to help us to change the wheels, it is also an actuator. So a human sends information to the actuator, and he interacts with the machine to know when and which actuator he will use. But these days, with the Internet of Things, what happened? Sensors communicate directly to the machine without the intervention of a human. And machines can communicate together using the internet. With such invention, we have the Internet of Things. So in the Internet of Things, a human interact with machine, but to control, to give algorithms of management. But sensors can give a lot of information to the network, and actuator also may change a lot of things in the environment. If a human will if a human give the if a human give the suitable algorithms to the machines, so the environment around the human will be automatically controlled. For this reason, when we talk about Internet of Things, we talk about smart home, we talk about smart building, we talk about smart city, we talked about smart car. All the environment around us now has a lot of sensors and actuator. We can say that in the internet, machine communicate and human interact, but with the Internet of Things, we have, it is difficult to precise the number of sensors and actuator existing today, because it depends on the definition. But we can say that there are 20 billion objects that are connected together to the internet. So they are almost 3 times the number of the mondial population. With the Internet of Things, we can say that all the object interacts, and the human behind control, give orders, give algorithms,